Hi everyone, I'm Ian Stefferman, CEO of Mobile Dev HQ, here with Roby Ganguly of Apptentive and Ryan Morell of PlacePlay. We've been talking this week a lot about Apple's crackdown on Tapjoy and incentivized installs and all sorts of things like that. And so if you're a publisher who's been using Tapjoy to get installs and that channel's now gone, and you're starting to think about where the next best place for you to be going is, what would you be focusing on?
I think there's a couple main ones, right? So organic search. What's the third one?
So when we think about search, social, and earned media on the organic side.
Sorry, I'm a little out of it this morning.
Yeah.
So I personally would be focused on social because that's something that you can develop into your app and change over time. It's hard. It's really hard to predict what's going to happen with earned media, especially if you're not a household name.
Yep.
So if I were a publisher or a developer, I'd be really focusing on how I can get my users to share my game with their friends.
Yep. And Roby, so you guys have good sort of experience in terms of knowing a little bit about when is the best time to hit up users. And in your case, it's for ratings and engagement. But what about, when would be the best time for an app developer to hit up a user for sharing with a friend?
So it's interesting because in some apps that's not actually appropriate at all. Right? Sometimes you're using something and you just don't really care to share it. And I think that one of the concerns that I have about the social channel is that it's not for everybody and you have to be thoughtful about it. There's certainly lots of things that are shareable, but just trying to shoehorn it into your app's not always the best way. But in general, people like to share moments of sort of success where they've accomplished something that they want to maybe brag about, and then they want to share sort of moments that are personal, right? So photos, videos, things like that can be personal, and then that's shareable with, especially if you can share with people who are close to you. That stuff's valuable, and so you got to just think about when those moments in time actually occur in your app and how you can map to that.
Great.
So maybe this is just a question. Is there an opportunity, because the challenge with social is always like, hey, you shared this with your friends, but what's in it for your friend?
Yeah.
And like, hey, your friend is playing this game, it's a motivator, but it's not like the end-all be-all motivator. So do you think there's an opportunity to flip the incentivized install process on its head and say, through HTML or links or email, if you send this to your friend, we will add this $1 credit to a Starbucks gift card. And if your friend installs it, we'll add this $1 gift card to their Starbucks card. It's probably one of those things that Apple eventually cracks down on too.
Or Facebook, right? If you have to use the Facebook API to do that and it starts showing up in the feed, I can see them quickly being like, nope, that's not going to work for us.
That is what made PayPal so successful back in the day, right? That was what started their viral loop. When you would invite a friend to PayPal, they'd give you $5, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
it's a good strategy.
So it's a good scamming idea that we'll probably have to shut down. So watch for Tapjoy to do that next.
Yeah, exactly.
That idea is free, Tapjoy.
And okay, so we talked about social. The other channels are on organic side. If you want to go the organic way, we think about search. Obviously, we're totally invested in search, so we won't go into that too much. Just don't want to be super shill.
I'll shill for you though. So because every day that I'm talking to developers, people are talking about overall their marketing strategy, and what I'm hearing more and more often is people saying, you know what, I really have to think about what's going on in the App Store. I don't really know what's going on there. And so organic and search isn't just about how do you drive more traffic, it's understanding just the overall dynamics. How do you actually surface in the App Store? Are you thoughtful about where you're surfacing in the future? How are you managing that strategy? And I think that's one of the things that's really awesome about what you guys are doing is you get that information, and that information becomes an asset for you over the length of your business.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's certainly where we're playing, and we're happy. So I appreciate the publicity there. All right, so let's keep this segment short today, and give me your one best example of an app that you found organically and how you found it.
I think My most recent one was letterpress. I think we talked about that, so I saw people talking about it on Twitter, and so I downloaded it. Before that, I mean, you hear a lot about stuff, like the Angry Birds stuff coming out. It's hard to miss that.
Yep.
But I'm not a huge consumer of apps at this point, so those are my most recent two.
Yep.
I think, now that I think about it, the most recent organic was a keyboard app for my Android. You guys are locked down. You can't have new keyboards on your iPhone. I'm sorry. But on Android, we can customize them. So I got Swift Key Plus, and it's a more accurate sort of text predictor and better keyboard. And I got it because I was surfing through Amazon's App Store, and it was like one of their featured apps of the day.
Nice.
Oh, cool. So I know we want to keep this short, but I'd add one more thing here is that all these different channels are good. They're best when combined.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a challenge when developers focus too much on incentivized installs, either from an acquisition side or a monetization side. You should try to make sure all of that is even, and then you can optimize for what works best. But these things all work best together.
Totally agree with that.
No one's going to find you organically if you don't have good search, if you don't have good earned media, and you don't have a way to share with your friends where it's appropriate. So they all go together.
Yep, and each of them leads to a nice virtuous cycle.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks so much, guys, and check back next week and look at the other installments this week. With TabJoy out of the way, how publishers manage their chart positions, right?
Yeah.
Because most of the sophisticated publishers I know are doing basically it's like trading, right? Like they buy